I hope this works. Hey guys, what's up? Good morning. Shit. It's like the third time I had to restart this video. I'm like, the Elgato camera keeps freezing on me for some reason. It's very fucking annoying. Fuck. Alright, welcome back to Monday Morning Tips with Joe. Answering your questions about editing. So yeah, if you guys want to learn about editing, friendly reminder that I got a Ko-fi membership going on. Not only are you helping me out monthly, but also like you get like a Discord access, you get a specific role so you can ask me questions directly if you guys want to learn about editing. And also, you know, it opens up like message boards and hit within my Ko-fi page, so I can ask your questions directly, and I can respond to you as soon as I can, right? Whereas, you know, these videos, I'm just gonna responding every Monday. So if you can wait a week, I guess you can continue just asking me questions here. If you need a bit more faster answers, then, you know, you can join my membership, you know. Either way, thanks for stopping by. Alright, so this is like last week's video, last Monday. I'm responding to some editing questions here. So the first one is from John Cripps. He says like he was watching a video by Jake Chudnow. His Yo Song music theme has a like very glitch digital replaying of Disney's yada yada. He's wondering if it's possible to recreate that visual and how you might go about it. Alright, this is a good question, and I actually do have a response. Just like with music, every musician has their own style of writing music, right? So I could go with the same as an artist. Any, you know, artist, whatever it may be, that's drawing, painting, anything, they have a specific way how they do things. But when you ask them how they do something that's outside of their style, obviously they may not give you the answer that you're looking for because they have a specific way of doing things. The same goes with me, right? But for the most part, when it comes to like editing, one, I can understand what you're talking about, and I'm able to like show you how it's done. And another thing is that I'm actually good at like finding answers to questions because obviously as an editor, I'm self-taught. I learned how to search for answers on the internet, right? So if you were to ask me something that you're having trouble with, I can respond to you on how I go about it, or what you can do to achieve that goal, right? So going back to the question is, how do you do this like the glitch digital replaying music video? Now, if you guys don't know what he's talking about, basically he's talking about this overall look where it's like you see like this distorted image going on, and like it looks kind of weird, you know, like this weird flame blending going on and stuff like that. Now, I've seen this look before, and actually it turns out it's called data moshing. If you type in data moshing, then you can find like videos on how to do it. Let's see here. There's a bunch of it here.
Welcome back to another video. In today's video,
so there you go. So if you want to learn how to do this, just like look up data moshing tutorials, and you can find plenty, right? It seems like you found actually a lot of like information on this, more than I was expecting. So as you can see, like, you know, there's plenty of examples of how to do this. As I was looking for, there are like plugins that you're able to get for After Effects, data mosh. You know, it does that for you. There you go, man. There you go. So data moshing, that's what you need to look for if you want to figure out how to do it. Yeah, look up data moshing and follow the tutorials, right? So there's your answer. All right, so John Cribs asked me an audio question here. So he's asking like any tips for pre-editing and post to ensure the best results and getting into recordings. He's getting into recording his own stuff, so any hardware and software tips appreciated for audio. Okay, all right, so tips on getting good audio for equipment and software and all this shit. Okay, look, first of all, most of all, I'm definitely not an audio guy. I think like really the best thing you can do is like just make sure you actually use a mic. Now, the quality of mic that you're able to get obviously is going to depend on your budget. Me personally, for my personal use, I like using USB microphones, right? And this one's a condenser microphone. I may want to upgrade to like maybe a shotgun mic eventually, just to get like more like clean audio. Yeah, so I mean, if you are into audio stuff, then you should have a general idea of what mics are capable of, right? In the sense of like, you know, omni mics, directional mics, corduroy mics, whatever, you know, depending on like the pickup method that you want. You can get some really cheap ones, which I do not suggest, but you can definitely get some decent ones that's just under $100, right? So depending on your budget, yeah, I'll say get something that's basically somewhere in between $50 to $100, right? I mean, I think you'd be okay with that for starters. If you know more about audio than I do, then if you know what kind of mic you like, then obviously go for that, right? But yeah, you don't need to spend so much money on a microphone. I don't suggest it, especially if you're starting out. Then you can get a better microphone once you get more experience, right? There's no point in you spending so much money on audio equipment to begin with if you don't know exactly what you're aiming for. Now, with this microphone, like, you know, it's not doing so well. I need to get a new strap or whatever, but this one's a condenser mic, so it has to be aimed specifically towards me, right? It's okay. It's a good mic. It's okay. The only thing I don't like is that like I have to speak at a certain distance from it, or else it gets distorted. Like the receiver of this mic is very sensitive, so if I speak too loud, it gets distorted easily. It's one of like the first things I noticed about this mic. So I kind of don't like it too much, honestly. But this thing cost me $60, and for stars, it's okay. More down the line, I'm actually thinking about getting myself a shotgun mic. That way I can like pick up more of my voice. It kind of blocks out more of the surrounding sounds. And that's another thing. It's your environment. If you're in a noisy environment, either you want to soundproof it, or if your apartment's near a busy traffic area, then you may have to figure out when's the best time to like film when like there's not that much traffic. You have to like hope the audio to not the mic to not receive that much audio, right? That, or basically make a sound recording room in the fucking closet. Fucking record yourself in there if you need to. But yeah, if you're starting out, I suggest a USB mic. It's easier to connect. It sounds good, and because if you get an XML microphone, then it's gonna need phantom power, and that's when you're gonna need a audio interface. And that can be another $100 right there if you need to like power the mic, right? Yeah, like I said, it's a rabbit hole. I'm just suggesting start simple. If you're getting into it. If you already know more than I do, then you should know what you need by now, right? But now if you go to my page and you go to like the search bar over here and you just type in audio, I have made a few tutorials in the past on like how to like fix your audio depending, so I have made a bunch of videos in the past. I have made an epic tutorial video on audio cleaning, and this one I'll suggest for you to watch. You can go to my page and like type in audio, and I got plenty of like videos on audio and EQing and whatever. So there's definitely a lot of info what I can suggest. Alright, thanks John Cripps for the other question, the second question. I gotta thank you for responding to his question last video. Hey, you're so welcome. Thank you for leaving a question. And the final one is, what is the best way to film multi-camera live shoot for podcast or group shot? I'm using DaVinci Resolve. Will recording cameras connected to a computer work, or record on say multiple phones, transfer the files, and use the editing software to switch between camera? Thanks. Alright, shit. Alright, this is one of those situations where it's like, there's no fucking right way to do things, right? For fuck's sakes, look at my shit, my videos. It's a fucking... your situation could be completely different than from other people, right? Meaning that like, let's say if you want to like film a podcast or do like a big group shot or something like that. If you're in a situation where you're actually able to get everybody in one room to like talk, that's good for you, right? But obviously, like you said, like if you need to get multiple cameras set up and all that crap, dude, that's a lot of pain. If you're in the position where you can do that and you have a lot of equipment to be able to like give every person their own individual camera, good for you. If you don't have that situation, then like there's options. Especially now with the internet, especially with like voice chat, group meeting software, Discord for example, you can just like have people talking to like a chat room. You can screen cap that podcast, and then you can have like the camera zoom in to like specific people as they're talking or stuff like that, right? Alright, I'm just gonna like answer like each individual part of this question. Would recording on cameras connected to a computer work good? Would it work? Yeah. Usually with Paul, actually, when he does a screen cap, or if he does something that's kind of like a time lapse, right? He'll like actually set up a camera somewhere, and then like he do like a capture on his computer, and that could be like an hour-long footage or more, right? It does work. We have had issues doing that, where there's like either you run out of space, the camera turns off for whatever reason, it gets hot. We have issues with like the audio sometimes, like the audio from the OBS capture, it could be out of sync for some reason. So you might come across some issues, right? But it does work doing that. But you have to be careful with like potential problems, right? Also, if you have all the cameras connected into one computer, and if that one computer was to stop working for whatever reason, then you got a problem, right? Or it says, or if you record in multiple phones, transfer the files, and use the editing software to switch between cameras, multi... Yeah, that's what we refer to as multi-cam editing. Again, there's really no way to like give you a good answer. It's just gonna become what do you prefer that works for you. It's gonna be the best result. Now, I've used phones to film myself. They work, but they do come with problems as well. Like I said, whether like say if you're using someone's phone for like an hour, these things could possibly not have that much footage, or if like the video quality is not that great, or like it films at a format that it's not that easy to edit with. Because the thing is that like smartphones, if you were to like edit yourself for a while, the frame rate on smartphones, from my experience, they're not consistent. Also, there can be like a weird frame rate. So instead of like, let's say 30 frames per second, this thing could be like 27.38, you know, something random like that. And once you start editing the footage from a smartphone, it's gonna like make your audio drift. You have to like re-render this, or re-encode your footage into a more consistent frame rate, so it's gonna give you more work, right? So there's like things that like you don't really know until you experience it, and that's the thing, you know, what works for you. All right, I just end with this example. Like these are like there are some YouTube channels that I follow where like they give like dating and relationship advice without the red pill bullshit, you know. If you're a person that has anger towards women, or you have like, you watch a lot of red pill content, meaning women are supposed to be your subservient or some bullshit like that, you need therapy straight out. So I just want to get that out of the way. But no, I do watch like dating and relationship coaches, mainly because I like to hear what they say, right? But anyways, if you can't get everybody in the room, you can just like do a screen cap depending on what software you're using, and then have people talk, right? And like it comes to a point where it's like, you know, I'm just more interested in what they have to say, not how they filmed it, right? So yeah, it's depending on your situation. If you want to have like a professional looking podcast with like a bunch of cameras set up, then, you know, obviously then you have to invest into making that happen, right? There's no best way of doing it. I think what it comes down to is like, what are you able to consistently do? If you are able to get a bunch of people together at once in that manner, then good for you. But obviously, you know, people, you know, they're traveling, or, you know, something comes up, you know, they can't drive, the car breaks down or something like that. If you're able to set that up in a manner where you can do that on, say, a Zoom meeting, or in a manner where you can just like screen cap people on a multiple, screens from their webcam, then, you know, that's another way to do it, right? But again, you have to like figure it out how you can set that up for yourself, right? And that's gonna come with practice and trial and error. So yeah, there's no best way to do it, you know. And also, I don't want to tell you to do it this way, because like, you know, either it's not gonna work for you, or I don't want you spending any unnecessary money getting all this equipment. You know, you just gotta figure out what you can do with what you got, and then you move on from there, right? So all right, guys, thank all of you for the questions. I really appreciate it, you know. And as a reminder, you know, my Discord is free. Just send me an email, and like I'll send you an invite link, right? But the Ko-fi page is more of like as an extra added like support that you can give me, but it's also like you get access to a members only role in my Discord. We can ask me more questions about editing, and I'll be more than happy to help you, because yeah, I'm sharing my experience with you up to that point. So $1 a month can help me. Shit. That adds up, man. That adds up. Anyhow, all right, thanks so much for watching this video. Leave your questions for next Monday in this video, and I'll respond. Thanks again. Talk to you later. Peace.